This meeting is being recorded.
Hey, Bereans, we are looking at a beautiful word, beauty and favor. This is from Genesis 6:8, and let's get started on it. Noah found beauty and favor in the eyes of God. That's taken from Genesis chapter 6, verse 8. Now, if you take the account from Peter, the second Peter epistle, chapter 2, 5, and even he did not spare the ancient generations, but kept only Noah, a proclaimer of righteousness, and 7 others with him when he brought a flood upon the generations of the wicked. Now you can see that Noah preaching his heart out for the 75 years that he was building the ark in the background. But all these who came to see what he was doing were just laughing at him. So in this account, we see what God actually was saying to Noah in verse 8 of chapter 6. But Noah found favor in the eyes of Adonai. And that's really what is happening here. He is the only one that will be saved together with 7 others. Then Abraham found favor. That's in chapter 18 of Genesis, verse 3. We see Abraham always in the outer side of his tent, looking into the horizon to see if there's any strangers that came so that he can entertain them. And he had already discerned this. You could see that as he referred to the person as Adonai, my master, as we read it in verse 3 of chapter 18. If now I have found favor in your sight, please do not pass your servant by. It was an opportune meeting because this is how Jesus is referred to in the Old Testament. And the 2 persons walking with him are messengers. And they were on the way to Sodom to destroy the place because they heard the cries of the innocents rising up to the heavens. And so they wanted to inspect it and destroy it. And we will see that as the hospitality was completed and they went off, Jesus stood with Abraham, and Abraham interceded for Lot, his nephew. And in the intercession, he went all the way down to, if there were 10 righteous people, would you destroy that place? And Jesus obviously said no, and he ascended. But the 2 went on, and as we see in the next account, we see Lot's favor from Abraham's intercession. Now, Lot was also like Abraham waiting at the gates, and he brought the 2 messengers into his home. And we see the account from 2 Peter 2:7, and delivered Lot the righteous, who was distressed by the people in their blasphemy, in the indecent conduct. For the righteous man dwelt among them, and he saw them and heard, and his righteous soul was being tormented to him from day to day with their lawless deeds. So they wanted to have sex with these angelic beings that came to their home, and they surrounded the home. But because of favor that was shown to Lot because of Abraham's intercession, he managed to be escaping the next day together with his 2 daughters and his wife. But his wife couldn't not be turned into salt because she turned around and looked as she longed for her old life. So Lot managed to escape with the 2 daughters, and it states in verse 19 of chapter 19, now behold, your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have magnified your loving kindness, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I am not able to escape to the mountains, lest the destruction shall overtake me and I shall die. So he managed to go to the nearest town, and the angels saved him. The next incident we see is Jacob's father-in-law, Laban. Now, this is a non-believer recognizing God's favor on Jacob's life. And you can see in the account in chapter 30, verse 27, but Laban said to him, if now I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. And Adonai has blessed me on your account. That's so clear. So he continued to stay on, but he got his wages from the spots and speckles and molten animals as his wage for the next 6 years, and he became very rich. So this is the account of all the favors that we see. Thank you for listening on. We will stop here now.